The rehearsal of the reign of God that constituted the early Christian church has repeatedly appeared in different forms throughout history, different times, different places. The Occupy movement is just one current instantiation of it. But sadly, the trajectory of these movements is almost always one of decline. The commitment fades, the momentum fizzles, the teachings ossify. Over time, people find it too hard to stand so alienated from the lives they once knew. The sacrifices are too great. And of course, we all want to be able to look fabulous walking down the red carpet. Liberal religion loses its radical edge as its institutions become ensconced in mainstream society. James Luther Adams, a 20th century Unitarian minister and divinity school professor, had these fairly harsh words to say about Unitarians' slide down this familiar slope. He writes, "The element of commitment, of change of hearts, of decision, so much emphasized in the Gospels, has been neglected by religious liberalism, and that is the prime source of its enfeeblement. We liberals are largely an uncommitted and therefore self-frustrating people. Our first task, then, is to restore to liberalism its own dynamic and its own prophetic genius. A holy community must be a militant community with its own explicit faith. And this explicit faith cannot be engendered without disciplines that shape the ethos of the group and that issue in the criticism of the society and of the religious community itself." He may be overstating the case to say that we are largely uncommitted. So many of us do so much good in the world. All Souls even had a loaves and fishes moment this week at Monday Night Hospitality. They served a sit-down dinner to 312 guests, with music played on the Steinway piano and flowers at every table, and people were able to come back for seconds. But the kind of commitment that Adams is talking about is a pretty radical kind of commitment on the part of the community as a whole. He uses the term holy community and militant community in the same breath. He is talking about a kind of community like the early church and like Occupy Wall Street that is dramatically different from the surrounding culture, sustained by the power of love, and fundamentally incompatible with a world in which violence and hunger and oppression can exist. He is talking about a religious counterculture. If the community of All Souls looks in the mirror, do we see the religious counterculture that we ought to be if we really believe the things that we say we believe? The inherent worth of all people, a world community with justice for all, the interdependent web of all existence. If we really believe that we all emerge from the same source and share the same destiny, are we meeting the obligations generated by those beliefs? I'd say we're not there yet. One way to put it is, most of us act like Unitarian Universalists, but few of us act like really religious Unitarian Universalists. What if everyone in this room were to decide to become a really religious Unitarian Universalist? What if, for example, those of us who have high-paying jobs refused to accept a salary of more than 7 times what the lowest paid member of our organization was paid? And we explained to the stunned custodian, "I'm a really religious Unitarian Universalist." And what if, starting today, you only ate food that was sustainably grown, humanely raised, and produced by workers who were paid a living wage? And you explained to your outraged children, "In this family, we are really religious Unitarian Universalists." What if, starting today, straight couples refused to get married until there was marriage equality for everyone in the country? And they said to their stunned, shocked parents, "We're really religious Unitarian Universalists." This is not a call for moral perfection, but rather for us all to think of our religion as central to our lives. We will be imperfect, and this church will be imperfect, and there will be tension as we negotiate with our desires to just participate in this society like normal people. We'll hear ourselves saying, "Can't I just enjoy a friggin' cheeseburger, for God's sake?" We naturally want to succeed in this world in every way. We want to make money, we want to have fun, we want to feel accepted. We want to be not only holy, but hot too. Even Mayim Bialik mused aloud during Operation Hot and Holy about whether God would really mind so much if maybe just her left arm were exposed. The struggle is a holy struggle. The important thing is not that we be perfect, but rather that we engage with the tension. And the key is to do it together. We're not there yet, but I think All Souls has the potential to become the kind of community where we can do this work together. It can become a laboratory where we experiment with our highest ideals, a petri dish where we grow our own special cell culture. Together, we can speak our own language. Together, we can rehearse the beloved community. Together, we can break bread with food that embodies our highest values. Together, we can be radically inclusive. Together, we can expose the false idols. Together, we can practice honesty and compassion, sensitivity and generosity. Together, we can be fueled by love. Together, we can embody a vision of the world as it should be in the very midst of the world as it is.